Welcome to day 2 of the Division II Baseball Championship from Cary, North Carolina. Today in our first game, we have Angelo State and Southern New Hampshire, two teams that are returning to the D2 Championship after being here last season. I'm Joe Castellano along with Lincoln Rose. Great day for baseball. We'll have the doubleheader with Angelo State and Southern New Hampshire, followed by North Greenville and West Chester. Angelo State, the number 5 seed, will come to the plate first, and Lincoln, they have a powerful offense.
Well, their motto all year has been 2 more, referencing last year they just needed 2 more wins to claim their first ever national championship. Angelo State has developed themselves as a premier program in Division II. It is still a relatively young program, but more often than not find themselves wrapping up their season here in Cary.
And here we go, we're underway as Austin Beck leads it off, takes a ball from grad student right-hander Josh Roberge, who is 9-4 with a 3.19 ERA this season. Beck takes a strike, 1-1. Austin Beck back in the lineup after he missed the Super Regional for Angelo State with a thumb injury. He was the Lone Star Conference Freshman of the Year, hitting .426 coming into the game as he fouls one on the right side, 1-2.
We mentioned lots of fresh faces in the field this year, but these two teams are back. Of course, Wingate won it all last year. The only team to beat Wingate last year was Angelo State, but the Bulldogs would come back and hand Angelo State their only 2 losses here in the bracket a year ago.
Beck checked his swing. Did he go? No, he didn't, says the first base umpire, Ray Chamberlain, on the appeal. He's the crew chief. Adam Berg is the home plate umpire. At second base, Steve Zawiski. And then the third base umpire, Trevor Hinson. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Beck leading off the ball game. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So Roberge, who averages over a strikeout per inning, picks up a strikeout on the first batter of the game.
He'll be one of a handful of hitters batting .400 on the year that Roberge is going to be staring down. And off to a good start for the man on the mound for the Penmen.
Kobe Kelton will climb in, hitting .370, 3 homers and 51 RBIs. I mean, these averages are just ridiculous, Lincoln. This team, as a club, they hit .363, 3rd in the nation. They average 10.7 runs a game. That's also 3rd in the country.
Yeah, what's been cool for this experience for Kobe is his brother Camden, a Ram this year, able to share this experience together.
That is really cool when you have family members that play on the same team. The head coach, Kevin Brooks, he's got a son who is a redshirt on this Angelo State team. There's a called strike, 1-2. Coach Brooks coaching at third base for the Rams, who come in at 50-12, 1 win shy of the school record that was set in 2007. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Kelton. Roberge deals line drive, base hit left field. That was a bullet.
The Rams will try to strike early here. Again, your visiting team today, by virtue of being the slightly lower seed.
Number 31, Aaron Walters.
Just able to go with it. 1 out, base runner for Angelo State.
Now, Aaron Walters, who's hitting .402, 10 homers, 81 RBI, 6th in the nation in runs driven in. Runner at first, 1 out, top of the first inning. Roberge throws to first, and diving back safe is Kelton, who has 11 steals in 16 attempts. And in addition to scoring so many runs and having the high batting averages, this team runs wild on the bases. This is a little different than the Angelo State teams that you've seen in the recent tournaments. And, you know, coming here to Cary, North Carolina, they will run a lot more than those previous teams. They have 176 stolen bases, 2nd in the nation.
We're in a stretch of 4 straight seniors in the lineup here for Angelo State, beginning with Kobe Kelton a moment ago.
Back to first is Kelton.
Aaron Walters, another one of those seniors. His dad's been a part of this program as a volunteer assistant coach, Bubba Walters. So again, another shared journey. And they hope to be playing at the end of this week.
Kelton, a big lead, fouled back, and it's 0-2. So these runners are trying to see what kind of a lead they can get against Roberge. Roberge, who comes at you with an 88 to 93 mile an hour fastball, throws a slider, a split-fingered pitch as well. They call him Robo, a very intense guy. Pop up, right side, just under the outfield is Jimenez. Now he's back on the dirt for out number 2.
We've seen some teams already struggle these first day plus when they get a leadoff man on or a second batter in an inning, just struggle to move them around. Not a lot of teams squaring around here early on. And a big reason why is these teams are accustomed to scoring double-digit runs in ball games. There have not been a lot of pitchers' duels that they've encountered.
Well, both of these teams lost in their Super Regional the first game and then came back and won the next 2. So these are 2 resilient teams, and they are the 2 teams that are returning. No other teams here in this tournament were in Cary in 2021. Justin Lee at the plate, 0-1 the count, 441 batting average, 3rd in the nation in hitting, 9 homers, and he's 10th in the country in RBIs with 80.
Yeah, he's 2nd in the nation in on-base percentage.
Takes a little bit outside, 1-1. Yeah, 564 is his on-base percentage. As a team, the on-base percentage leads the country at 476, second straight year that Angelo State leads the nation in on-base percentage. So that's definitely been a staple. Diving back safe is Kelton.
Angelo State leads Division II with 629 runs scored this season.
Yeah, it's just amazing to be averaging over 10 per game. Throw to first again, diving back safe is Kelton. So he's got a pretty good lead there where he knows he can dive back and get in and maybe get a good jump if he wants to try to steal second with 2 down.
Roberge on the mound, 2nd team all-region, 1st team all-conference in the Northeast 10.
It's a base stealer's lead at first, so he's going to keep throwing over there. Back safe is Kelton. Well, one of the reasons that the Rams have had success stealing bases, according to Coach Kevin Brooks, is that they have a really good strength and conditioning program from their coaches, and it's helped them run the bases better. They're faster, quicker. That's what they feel about it. 2-1 the count.
Nice job by Nick Schwartz, keeping that ball in front of him.
And usually this is a good count to run on. We'll see if Kelton is running here, being held by LaRocca over at first base. Low and away, 3-1 to Justin Lee. Jordan Williams on deck.
Yeah, Lee again, 1st team All-American, really up on that plate, putting pressure on Roberge to find the strike zone.
He has 92 hits this year, 4th in the country. Stands in the back of the box. 3-1 pitch, line drive, right field corner. That's a base hit. That's going to be extra bases. Kelton getting to third, being waved home. And the throw coming in gets away from the second baseman, Jimenez. The run scores easily. RBI double for Lee. 1-0 Angelo State.
Just a nice piece of hitting from Justin Lee, able to punch it out towards right. Even if they hit the cutoff man, they're not going to have the play at the plate. The RBI double from Lee, as the Rams have found their 630th run of 2022.
Yeah, Henry's throw was down low, and Jimenez couldn't stop it, so they didn't have a chance to even think about making that throw. Here's Jordan Williams with Lee at second and 2 down. And there's a strike.
Nice production with 2 outs. I think most of our runs scored yesterday were with 2 outs in our ball games.
Clutch hitting. Lee has plenty of speed over there at second base, so anything to the outfield should score him with 2 down. Roberge deals. Just outside. 1-1.
Jordan Williams back at third after an injury, had worked his way back to lineup as a DH eventually, but Kelton had done a nice job at third base in his place. But he'll be working with the glove of the hot corner today.
Yeah, we've seen some players that are getting back healthy for the Division II championship. I mean, you don't want to miss this, even if you're banged up, right?
Williams is out of Round Rock, Texas, near Austin.
Two and one, the count to Williams, the pitch. Liner deep into right center field. Henry's there, though. And that does it for the Rams in the first inning. They do get on the board first. A run on a couple of base hits. They leave a runner at second. At the end of one half inning, the score, Angelo State 1, Southern New Hampshire coming to bat. Well, some Angelo State fans are happy about the fact that the Rams got a run in the top of the first inning. Now Southern New Hampshire will come to bat up against senior left-hander Ben Elder, who's 9-2 with a 3.73 ERA and looking for a little revenge after last year against Wingate, the eventual national champions. He lost here when he went 4 1/3 innings and gave up 4 runs, 7 hits. So hoping for a much better outing this time around here at Coleman Field.
Of course, biggest loss for Angelo State in the offseason was Trent Baker moving on, the All-American pitcher. Was drafted in the 8th round of the Major League Baseball draft. But they're pretty happy with what they have here, obviously, in Ben Elder returning this year.
Yeah, Trent Baker pitching in the Cardinals organization now and actually throwing the ball really well for Palm Beach in the Florida State League. Daniel Rivera will lead it off for Scott Loazzo's club. Scott Loazzo getting his team back here. It's his 14th season, and they have made now 4 trips to the Division II Baseball Championship, their second in a row. Rivera hitting .293, 9 homers, and 33 RBIs. Against the big lefty, Elder 6'6". And a breaking ball in there for a called strike, 0-1. Elder will come at you with a fastball that's just in the mid-80s. It's more about the movement for him, as he did not reach the plate on that pitch. But he will throw the fastball along with a cutter, a slider, and a changeup, more of a contact pitcher. Rivera swings and lines one down the left field line. That's a base hit. Playing it is Lee. Heading for second, Rivera. He'll make it in, standing up with a leadoff double.
That'll inch the sophomore a little closer to 300 on the year. And it gives Southern New Hampshire a promising start here to their return to Cary. We mentioned, just like Angelo State, they were here a year ago. Just like Angelo State in recent years, they have lost to the eventual national champion. They fell to Augustana twice a few years back. Feel like they just narrowly missed out. And again, that one just finds itself right down the line.
Yeah, it's a good point. Both teams feel like they were so close to winning the title. Here's Christian Mercedes hitting .306, 6 homers, 43 RBIs. Runner at second and nobody out, and he scores the bunt, pops it in the air, reaching out and grabbing it is Williams. One away, not a good bunt, obviously.
That's a nice gift for Jordan Williams over there. We mentioned no longer just the DH, but back healthy and playing third base in full sprint. Wanted to make sure that Christian Mercedes did not get another bite at that one.
Yeah, that was not a good pitch to bunt. It was high. Here's Sam Henry. Now getting back to Southern New Hampshire, in 2018 they won 2 games here for the first time, and as you mentioned, they ended up losing twice to the eventual national champion Augustana. And for Angelo State last year, they nearly made it to the championship. Henry batting .335 at the plate, checks his swing, and that's a strike, 0-1. In fact, the Rams got to the final day before the national championship, the Friday before the national championship game, and they lost to Wingate 8-7 in 11 innings. That was excruciating. In fact, they lost 2 straight 1-run games to Wingate last year to get eliminated. That's fouled back, and they endured a 3.5-hour rain delay that I'm sure you remember, Lincoln, in one of those games. So that was tough.
Well, it was one of those where they had their All-American pitcher, Baker, and he had gone deep into that game, and they knew if we halt this game for rain now, there's no way he's going to be able to come back for the next inning.
So kind of a bitter taste from last year for Angelo State. Rivera at second, 1 out. Henry behind, 0-2. He has 14 homers, grounds one to second base. This will move the runner up to third. Beck throws out Henry. Rivera is at third with a tying run, 2 down. Nick Schwartz will come up.
So the leadoff double from Daniel Rivera. 2 batters later, 2 outs later. He's moved 90 feet. See if Nick Schwartz, their cleanup hitter, can find that tying run before this inning's over.
Schwartz hitting at .406. Now, they don't have as many lofty batting averages in this Penmen lineup as the Rams have, but Schwartz over 400, 9 homers, 44 RBIs.
Well, and he's batting even better in the postseason, hitting .450 this postseason.
Ground ball right at the second baseman, Beck. And the inning is over. No runs, a leadoff double, but Rivera is stranded at third. The end of one inning, Angelo State 1, Southern New Hampshire nothing. Alongside Lincoln Rose, I'm Joe Castellano here at the Division II Baseball Championship. All 8 teams are still alive, but we will have our first elimination game tomorrow when we see Rollins facing Illinois Springfield. We'll also have Southern Arkansas and Point Loma, 2 teams that won yesterday going at it tomorrow night. But we've got these teams in action for the first time. Angelo State leading 1-0 over Southern New Hampshire. And then later on tonight, number 1 seeded North Greenville against number 8 seed West Chester. That's at 6 p.m. Eastern.
Second straight year, both these fan bases have done a nice job traveling out to North Carolina.
The designated hitter, number 18, Tatum Treadaway.
Tatum Treadaway to lead it off for Angelo State, hitting .313, 4 homers, 39 RBIs. Facing Josh Roberge. Takes outside 1-0. I mean, it's always tough when you play 2 games and you're done here. Especially tough if you don't do anything offensively. So you think about last year, Angelo State, we mentioned, came so close to getting to the championship. But if you go back to the previous trip, in 2016, they lost 2 1-0 games. So at least this time, at least we're on the board. Liner to second, caught by Jimenez, 1 away. Because that's the thing. I mean, you don't want to come here, not score, and just go home after 2 games. That's tough.
Well, it would be hard to imagine that's going to be the case this year with Angelo State. Offense has never been the question for them this year.
No. Thomas Kane will climb in, hitting .416. That's right. The number 7 hitter is hitting .416, 2 homers and 24 RBIs.
It's from the Dallas area out of Flower Mound. It's filling the shoes of Jackson Hardy in center field. By the way, congratulations to Jackson. He's the Elite 90 Award winner for the best academic resume of all of our student athletes from these 8 teams still playing.
Comebacker handled by Roberge. He'll run towards the bag and then give it up. He doesn't want to take any chances there. 2 down.
Pretty ideal start for Roberge after a bumpy start back in the first. See if he can get his Penman back into the dugout.
While Angelo State is known for its offense, Southern New Hampshire is known a little more for the pitching. They are 5th in the nation in ERA, 3.42, 10th in WHIP at 1.31. Justin Harris at the plate, and he takes a strike, 0-1.
Of course, Angelo State out of the Lone Star Conference. It's a conference that we see represented at all sorts of championships throughout the year, but Angelo State is the only Lone Star Conference baseball program to make it to this stage, and of course they've now done it on several occasions 5 times as a young program. But then it's easier to remember that as many great Lone Star programs as there are, they also run into those RMAC teams, specifically Colorado Mesa more often than not. And it always seems to be a battle between Coach Hanks's Mesa squad as well as Angelo State in that super regional.
Yeah, it was again this year, and Angelo State lost the first game, then won 2 in a row by a combined score of 28-9. So the offense was clicking then, and they're trying to do it again here. 1-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. So Roberge, a different guy in the second inning, a 1-2-3 inning, gets his second strikeout. At the end of 1.5, Angelo State 1, Southern New Hampshire nothing. Beautiful day here in Cary, North Carolina. 83 degrees. Barely any clouds in the sky. Just a light breeze blowing from right to left. Just perfect baseball weather. Dakota Mulcahy comes up to the plate for Southern New Hampshire, trailing 1-0. And facing Elder. Breaking ball down and away, 1-0. Mulcahy hitting .288, 9 homers, 48 RBIs, the DH. There are 5 lefties in this lineup for Southern New Hampshire against lefty Ben Elder.
Well, when we saw Mulcahy last year, he was already your career leader in home runs for this program and games played. He has grown those numbers. 37 home runs in his time with the Penmen. It's his 198th game to suit up with them. And through almost 200 games, has 176 RBI.
Great numbers for him. 2-1 the count to Dakota.
And one of the captains for the Penmen this year. He actually hit the program's single-season record, 14 home runs last year. That was tied by a teammate this year. As Dakota with 9 long balls this season.
And he hits a rocket into right field for a base hit. So for the second consecutive inning, Elder has allowed the first batter to get on base with a solid knock. And we'll see if he can get out of it the way he did in the first inning.
Yeah, Southern New Hampshire stranded the tying runner on third base last inning. Struggled to get a bunt down. Had a couple of ground outs to the right side. See if they have more success here, beginning with LaRocca.
Michael LaRocca hitting .268, a home run and 10 RBIs. Stands in the back of the box. Mulcahy, short lead at first. And the pitch is low for a ball, 1-0. You think about these two pitchers, Lincoln, and you got 2 aces in Ben Elder and Josh Roberge, and they did not pitch well in their super regional. I mean, these are the guys you want to pitch the first game like they're doing here. But looking at Elder, he lost in the super regional against Colorado Mesa and gave up 7 runs, 11 hits in 6 1/3 innings. And Roberge also had an issue against Malloy. He gave up 5 runs, 3 earned, 9 hits in 5 innings, so they didn't pitch well. Line drive, right field, base hit for LaRocca. Stopping at second is Mulcahy. 2 on, nobody out for the Penmen.
57th game of the year for the Penmen, but for LaRocca, just the 14th time in the lineup. Boy, he's been battling multiple injuries this year. That's got to feel good for him. Finally came back in the Super Regionals last weekend. Has himself a base hit, 1 for 1 today.
The second baseman, number 22, Ricky Jimenez.
Ricky Jimenez will climb in. You wonder about bunting here. It is the bottom of the order, but the next hitter is a .352 hitter. You wonder if maybe they'll get 2 men in the scoring position. It's definitely an option. Jimenez hitting .311, 6 homers, 27 RBIs. Elder ready for his first pitch to Jimenez. Breaking ball low, and he did not show bunt. 1-0.
Yeah, Aaron Walters at first is still anticipating there might be a sighting of Jimenez squaring around here. Jimenez splitting time at second base this year with Cary, but he's had the hot bat as of late. Finds himself in the lineup today.
1-0 to Jimenez, the pitch. In the dirt with a breaking ball, 2-0. I mentioned that the Penmen, they definitely count on their pitching. But at the same time, this team showed a lot of power this year. They have the school record with 79 homers this season for Southern New Hampshire. So, you know, they can get their pitching, but they can also hit the long ball, and it's pretty consistent throughout the lineup. There are a lot of guys who can go deep on you. Jimenez, one of those guys with 6 round trippers. The outfield does not play very deep against him. And playing straight up. Middle infielders cheating towards second, looking to turn 2. 3-0 to Jimenez. I wonder if he'll take all the way here.
Yeah, bottom half of the order trying to produce. Down by 1 early.
See pitchers get out of their game a little bit when they're here because maybe nerves and maybe their mechanics aren't what they would like because there's a lot on their mind. But with Elder, I mean, this guy doesn't walk many batters, only 1.4 walks per 9 innings coming in. He's behind in the count here, 3-0. There's a strike. Definitely don't want to walk somebody when you have nobody out and 2 on. You would figure that he's going to throw something down the middle here, so Jimenez should be ready to swing the bat and try to do some damage.
Got some pop. Jimenez with 6 of those 79 home runs for the team. A couple of singles from Mulcahy and LaRocca so far. So 2 on, nobody out.
3-1 to Jimenez. Hit in the air, left field and deep. Lee going back at the wall. It's gone! A 3-run homer for Ricky Jimenez. His 7th home run of the season. And Southern New Hampshire takes a 3-1 lead.
Well, that's the benefit of working yourself ahead in the count. Pretty good chance you're going to find one you can work with. And his teammates have had a few opportunities this year to celebrate home runs with Ricky Jimenez.
Well, that's the count where you really want to let it out. Get the barrel going, as they say, and he knew it. As soon as he connected on that one, he knew that was a home run. A valiant effort there for Lee, but that ball just kept going.
Now batting left fielder, number 6, Alex Kennedy.
Home run number 80 on the year for the Penmen. A school record is a big one. And now Kennedy, deep right, in the corner, way back, gone! Back-to-back homers on consecutive pitches. Alex Kennedy, his 3rd home run of the season. 4-1 Penmen.
Scott Loazzo has a lot of great options to play in left field, but the bat of Alex Kennedy, that is a potent swing in the 8th spot. And there are still nobody out here in the 2nd inning after 4 hitters.
Wow, 4 consecutive men reaching, and that was just crushed. I mean, that's not much of a home run hitter. Kennedy only had 2 coming in, but he was looking for that pitch. He knew Elder didn't want to get behind in the count, and that's going to do it for Elder. 1+ innings, and he's done.
I don't think people want to hear glass half full in the 2nd inning when your starting pitcher comes out, but that's not a lot of pitches for Elder. And there's a good chance now he's going to be able to be a factor sooner than you expected later on this week.
Take a break, be right back. 4-1 Southern New Hampshire with power here in the 2nd. Well, the Penmen took out the heavy bats here in the 2nd inning. And he started with a couple of singles by Mulcahy and LaRocca, and then back-to-back homers on consecutive pitches by Jimenez, a 3-run shot, and then Kennedy, a solo blast. And that took care of Ben Elder. He's out of there after 1+ innings, and Kyle Mosley comes out of the bullpen. He was the number 3 starter for this Angelo State team, now a reliever. Bunt by Tavares, picked up by Mosley, guns to first. There's the first out of the inning.
Yeah, 1 pitch, 1 out. Mosley this past month, really the past 3 weeks, has emerged as a top reliever. You mentioned transitioning to the bullpen.
Top of the order.
He's 4-2 with a 2.88 ERA, his 20th appearance, 16th in relief. Much better as a reliever than he was as a starter. 43 strikeouts in 40 2/3 innings. Opponent's only hitting .211 against Mosley. And there's a called strike to the leadoff man, Rivera. 0-1. Rivera led off with a double back in the 1st inning. 1 for 1. Ground ball, shortstop. Harris botches it. That'll be an error. Puts Rivera at first with 1 out.
Yeah, I thought that ball was in his glove. When he reached for it, realized it wasn't there.
And that is unusual for Angelo State. They are 2nd in the nation in fielding percentage behind Point Loma, .982, but they make an error here. Here's Christian Mercedes, popped up a bunt in the 1st inning, 0 for 1. Mosley with a breaking ball that misses high, 1-0. Mosley will throw fastball, slider, curve, changeup.
Mercedes was your MVP of the Northeast 10 Conference Tournament this year.
Back easily at first base is Rivera.
Third-year sophomore with second-team all-conference honors for the season.
Rivera can really run. 32 steals in 37 attempts, draws another throw, the snap throw that time. But, of course, you know, you're facing pitchers that you've never seen. You don't know their move, and it's a lefty, which is always a challenge. So we'll see what Rivera is made of as far as just the psychological part of it. Does not go. Swing and a miss.
Well, despite the base runner, good start here for Kyle Mosley. First pitch he fired home, led to an out. Second pitch, or a couple pitches later, gets that ground ball to his shortstop. Not much more you can ask.
There goes the runner. Pitch outside. Throw to second by Clark. The slide. He's out. What a throw by Trip Clark. He pegs Daniel Rivera. That throw was right on the money with a lot of velocity.
Rivera has a good jump, but Trip Clark fires this on the money and a great tag applied.
Well, that really was a good tag because it's a one-bounce throw to Beck. Pop-up by Mercedes, right field, second baseman Beck. That does it for Southern New Hampshire, but what an inning of power. After consecutive singles to start out, a 3-run homer by Jimenez, a home run by Kennedy on the next pitch, 4-1 Southern New Hampshire.
On to the top of the third here in Cary. Lincoln Rose, Joe Castellano, and there's some future academic All-Americans. Those 4 young men brought their gloves to the ballpark. They are ready.
Good idea.
Well, Trip Clark catches a runner stealing, gets to swing the bat for the first time today out of the 9 spot as he faces Josh Roberge, who now has a 3-run lead to work with after a 4-run second inning for the Pinmen. Roberge is coming off a 3-up, 3-down inning of his own on the mound last inning. Let's see if he has settled in. Again, Trip Clark out of Waco, Texas, from Midway High School, a 300 hitter on the year. Again, we talked about the job Kevin Brooks has done with this program. Joe, hands down, it's not just my opinion, Kevin Brooks, the greatest head coach in the history of Angelo State.
He's also the only one.
Yes. I thought you were going to say also the worst, which I would have said, how dare you, but true. What a legacy he has had. Just 2 years into the program's existence brought them to the national championship. Now doing it for a 5th time. Never has had a losing season. As this one skyward will be playable, battling that sun in foul territory as the first baseman, Michael LaRocca, able to squeeze it in one away as Trip Clark retired.
I'll tell you what, that was not an easy play at all. That ball was moving towards the dugout area. The sun is so bright. LaRocca, I don't even think he saw it at first. Then he was able to locate it. He made that look easy, but that is not easy.
Back to the top of the order, Austin Beck struck out his first time up against Roberge. Beck, second-team All-American, your freshman of the year in the Lone Star Conference. Went to Allen High School, same school as another, what could have been great baseball player, Kyler Murray.
Yeah, the A's drafted him in the first round, but he chose to play quarterback, and now with the Cardinals in the NFL.
That high school has an $80 million football stadium.
Wow. Yeah, he was a great one.
Makes you think football might be a big deal in Texas. 1 out, nobody on. The 1-1 to Beck in there for strike 2.
This Angelo State team, they've won 23 of their last 25 games. So you have to imagine they've come back during some of those games. They're not intimidated by being down early in a game.
Yeah, lost a regional to A&M Kingsville, but bounced back against those Javelinas. Same story against Colorado Mesa, as twice today, Beck down on strikes against Roberge, 2 away, who has retired now 6 straight Rams.
Well, Roberge is mixing up his pitch as well, and his fastball is up to 92 miles an hour. That one, he just blew him away with it.
Back to Kobe Kelton, who has scored the only run today for Angelo State. Gave them a 1-0 lead in the top of the first, when Justin Lee brought him home with 2 outs. Kelton started his college pursuits over at BYU, grew up in Austin, Texas, now senior. Mentioned getting to play with his brother at times.
One thing you'll notice with Roberge is that when he gets the ball, he's ready to go. He works very, very quickly.
The 0-2.
Roberge is one of those guys who, we've been told, doesn't relax. He's always intense. You don't see him just lounging on a couch ever.
A foul out and a strikeout. This one will find its way through. Kobe Kelton's 2 for 2 here in Cary. Trying to extend this third inning. Down by 3 runs with 2 outs.
Well, you're just trying to stay alive when you have 2 strikes. You shorten up the swing. That was kind of the quintessential swing with 2 strikes. Just shorten up, try to hit it out of the infield.
So that buys an opportunity here for Aaron Walters to continue this inning. Popped out to Jimenez at second back in the first. Aaron out to Center Point, Texas. Started at Texas A&M before going from East Texas to West Texas out to Angelo State. San Angelo, Texas, home of Tommy Lee Jones.
The fugitive. Well,
allegedly.
He was chasing the fugitive
in
the movie
I
The
see.
Fugitive. What a great movie that was.
Harrison Ford did not kill his wife. 2-0.
You know who went to Angelo State but didn't actually pitch there was Jim Morris, the subject of the movie The Rookie, speaking of movies. So he is known for being from Angelo State but didn't play baseball there. He was an All-American punter. They didn't have baseball yet.
Yeah, Kevin Brooks wasn't there yet.
Right. This is a long time ago. And at age 35, after several arm surgeries, he ended up making it to the major leagues with Tampa Bay.
That's a 2-out walk for Aaron Walters.
I remember watching Jim Morris pitch in Durham on his way up to the big leagues. And, of course, the Durham Bulls play not too far away from here, about a half hour away, Durham Bulls Athletic Park.
I was wondering why you brought the live chicken in here.
Hit, bowl, win, steak.
Back to the first-team All-American, Justin Lee, RBI double back in the first, but first a chat with Josh Roberge, who is working with a newly established 3-run lead as of last half inning, but is struggling to find the third out here in the top half of the third.
Well, Roberge, coming off Tommy John surgery a few years back when he was a freshman at Wheaton Division III.
Yep, up in Illinois.
Actually, I believe it's Wharton, not Wheaton. Yeah, it's Wheaton. It is Wheaton.
It is Wheaton, yeah.
Right. Wheaton College.
The Thunder.
Okay. So, yeah, playing for Wheaton, he had to have Tommy John surgery. He's come back and completely healthy now. I was thinking of the business school Wharton, right?
Correct.
Well, this is a key spot because, you know, now you've got 2 men on. You just took the lead. You had all the momentum, and you've got one of the best hitters in the country at the plate. So it was worthy of a long conversation.
Again, Justin Lee came into this week hitting .443 with 80 RBI. Near the top of some of the most meaningful statistics in terms of reaching base and producing. Already with an RBI double today, fights this one foul. First 2 batters retired, a foul out and a strikeout. Kobe Kelton extended this inning with his single. Aaron Walters with a walk, able to join him on the base paths. So tying run at the plate, your cleanup hitter, Justin Lee. The pride of Las Vegas, Nevada. Runners going, and it's a double steal for Angelo State. Kelton takes third. Walters takes second.
Man, that's putting some pressure on the defense right there.
Now the count 1-1. Just need that elusive third out, and you still have a 3-run lead. Time called by Lee as Roberge taking longer than he'd like.
Got some teams in this tournament here that can steal bases. Westchester, another of them.
Count 2-1. We will see the Golden Rams, the two-time national champs, the only team in the field this year that has won a championship, let alone two, here in Division II baseball, as we'll go from the Penn men to the men from Penn.
What happens if we get a Golden Rams matchup? That'll be interesting.
What if the Rams become the Golden Rams by winning it all?
Could get
so
very
many
confusing.
questions that won't be answered for another 6 days, 7 days.
How many teams are wearing blue and gold?
We'll never know.
A lot.
2 on in scoring position. Kelton on third, Walters on second. 2-2 offering.
Oh.
Bases loaded, and that one right on the wrist of Lee. The All-American. That's a tough spot to take that one.
Wow, 91-mile-an-hour fastball that hit him, I think, on the hand.
Well, that's a promising sign. He points, as you mentioned, right there on the hand.
Oh, man, that's painful. You just have to hope that nothing is broken.
Third baseman Jordan Williams.
Such a vulnerable area.
So bases have now been loaded, all with 2 outs. As Justin Lee joins Kelton and Walters on the base paths, Jordan Williams 0 for 1 today, flied out to end the first inning. He's the 6th man to come up here in the third. After the first 2 were retired, 3 straight have reached. A strike called from home plate umpire Adam Berg, who's joined by Ray Chamberlain, Steve Zawiski, and Trevor Hinson today. Tying run on first. That one will get through. The rally continues for the Rams. 2-run score. As Angelo State is back within 1, Jordan Williams brings home Kelton and Walters. It's a 1-run ball game.
We've seen some hard-hit balls, and that was one of them right there from Jordan Williams. Just smashes it into left field.
Justin Lee would go from first to third after Kelton and Walters both score.
Well, at least one of those free passes coming back to haunt Roberge.
And now back to Tayton Treadway. Lined out to the second baseman, Ricky Jimenez, to lead off last inning. Again, first 2 batters retired here in the third. Roberge was working for the first time with a lead, a 3-run lead. That has been trimmed down to 1 now. Still just needs 1 out to escape with a lead. Tayton Treadway, 3rd-team All-Conference this year. Biggest moment most recently was last weekend, a Grand Slam home run in Game 3 of that Super Regional to take a lead for good against Colorado Mesa. Runner will take second, the throw down, and not in time, and that's going to allow the tying run to come home and an extra 90 feet for Jordan Williams. Oh, the Rams baited them into the throw, and once it got away, Justin Lee trots home. It's a brand new ball game. Wow.
I think that's going to be an error on the shortstop, Daniel Rivera, because he didn't catch a good throw, and he tried to make a swipe tag, ended up swiping the baseball into center field. Watch Rivera here. I mean, that's a good throw, but he doesn't catch it. Tried to swipe it, never got it in his glove, didn't get it in the webbing there, and that just allowed the run to score and the runner to go to third.
They were hoping to make the third out there at second. Instead, the stolen base, and then the run scored.
That's where speed can really put pressure on a defense.
Angelo State now adds Tayton Treadaway to the list of 5 straight men who have reached base with 2 outs this inning. Second free pass.
And the running, that error and everything going on seems to have rattled Roberge a little bit. I mean, he seems like a guy who would be tough to rattle. He's a grad student, a lot of experience, but he doesn't like what's going on right now. He just slammed the ball into his glove.
I mean, this is Angelo State baseball. There is a reason why they've now scored 633 runs this year.
That sounds like a ton.
Their poor radio announcer. The fact that he still had a voice after March.
Oh, I thought you meant he didn't make a lot of money. You said poor.
No. We all do this for the love of the game, Joe. Here's Thomas Kane in the bottom third of the order. He's the 8th batter this inning for Angelo State. Grounded back to the pitcher last inning. First pitch, a strike.
Does he have enough stuff hanging out of his pockets? Kane at the plate. He's got, I mean, that's probably one of those hand guards, like the oven mitt in his right back pocket.
It might just be his pocket hanging out of his pocket.
Out of the other pocket. Yeah, maybe you're right. I thought he was going to the, either the the hardware store or somewhere. He was getting prepared to go somewhere with a lot of stuff in his pockets. Look at that.
Runners on the corners. A lead is 90 feet away for Angelo State. Jordan Williams stole second, moved to third when that ball got into center field, as Justin Lee came home to make it a brand new affair. All of this with 2 outs. Rams figure they might as well get over the hump and claim their second lead early. And they are now going to try to get into a pickle by design. Let's see if this pays off for Angelo State or if the Pinmen finally find that third out. There's your third out. And they want obstruction. That is something they can ask to review. Let's see if Coach is going to. It does not appear to be the case.
Yeah, I didn't think it was.
So fireworks aplenty with 2 outs in the top of the third. Angelo State would bring 8 batters total to the plate and bring 3 home. It's a 4-4 affair. Well, it is a wave of emotions as you look at how things have progressed so far. It was with 2 outs in the top of the third. Southern New Hampshire still had a 4-1 lead. But again, Angelo State, who has already dipped into its bullpen, Kyle Mosley back out. And let's see if he can keep it level. Here's Sam Henry. Henry grounded out to the right side back in the first inning, 0 for 1 today. Southern New Hampshire took that lead last inning with 2 home runs, back-to-back shots. A 3-run homer from Jimenez. Kennedy had a solo blast 1 pitch later. Mosley then would retire the next 3 hitters. With a runner caught stealing factored in. And Angelo State, right now, unable to reclaim that second lead, may have outthought themselves there on that final exchange for the third out.
Yeah, I thought they just kind of ran themselves out of the inning a little bit. We got a guy at the plate hitting over 400.
In fairness, that's like middle of the pack.
Yeah, on this team.
Strikeout for Mosley as he fans Henry 1 away.
It's the first strikeout for the Angelo State pitchers.
Back to Nick Schwartz, your catcher for the Pinmen. And Schwartz started at St. John's, native of Massapequa, New York. He's been splitting catching duties with Dakota Mulcahy. Dakota, your DH today.
You know who else is from Massapequa, Long Island, New York?
There's a few people, but I bet you can name one.
Jerry Seinfeld.
Left side. Harris has this one. Cross the diamond, 2 away.
Jerry Seinfeld, big Mets fan. Speaking of the Mets, remember when they beat the Red Sox in the World Series in '86? Well, some people do.
Guy named Mookie.
Well, Scott Loasso does. At least, you know, he's been made aware of it. The head coach of Southern New Hampshire, a big Red Sox fan. And he actually played in a professional baseball league called the Can-Am League under Rich Gedman, who was a Red Sox catcher that year. He was an all-star catcher. And that team also, the team that Coach Loasso played on in the Can-Am League, had a pitching coach by the name of Bobby Ojeda, who pitched for the Mets in the '86 World Series.
Yeah, I think he was on RBI Baseball for Nintendo. No balls, 2 strikes with 2 away. Here's Mulcahy, a single and a run scored back in the second. He came home on that Jimenez home run. Remember, all that damage was with nobody out. Conversely, Angelo State waited for a couple of outs to begin their rally last half inning.
I like the eye black.
And Dakota will see at least one more pitch.
Does that stuff really work, you think? I mean, it's so bright today. I mean, that's supposed to be the purpose of it.
I was calling a tournament last week. I was convinced that the game was going on so late it was starting to creep into the eyes because players were tearing up.
Wow.
Mulcahy lays off another one, full count.
Well, if it kills the glare, then it's definitely worth it to put it on. How do you get that stuff off? I've never used it.
Watch a rom-com. And Kyle Mosley able to stop the bleeding last inning. Only allowed 1 base runner in his stead last inning, then wiped him off the bases. Payoff pitch, got him looking. Yeah, Mulcahy just a little too picky there. And finally saw strike 3. Kyle Mosley with a tie score. Faces the minimum. Once again, back in Cary, North Carolina. It's become synonymous with crowning national champions here in Division II baseball. And before you start wondering about who authorized the cloning of Angelo State, that's Southern Arkansas. Similar initials, similar color scheme. Southern Arkansas, the Mule Riders, already with a victory as of yesterday.
Yeah, reveling in that 3-1 win over Rollins. They get to play tomorrow night against Point Loma. That's a good matchup.
Sea Lions and Mule Riders. And right now we've got Rams and Penman. All these teams have been out in the community, working with the NCAA to give back.
Can we talk about Kane's pockets again? I don't understand the pocket that has the inside of it hanging out. Is that a fashion statement? There's no usefulness for that, right?
If you have the answer, you can send an email to Joe's Hotmail account.
Because I'm thinking maybe you could wipe your hand on it. I'm not sure.
His AOL is still dialing in.
I want to be practical when I'm thinking about these pockets. And wouldn't it hurt if you slid on the other pocket area when you have that brace or whatever, you know, the oven mitt thing? I think it would hurt if you slid on that.
Depends how hot the oven is.
I'd give it to the first base coach and say, hey, can you hang on to that for me? But I guess if 9 players did that, it'd be kind of a problem.
A reminder, Kane was at the plate when Angelo State had a runner caught off of third base. So Kane leads off here with nobody out.
He's got to be saying, what do I got to do to move up in the lineup?
The 2-2. This one out towards Henry and right. 1 away. So Harris 0 for 2 against Roberge. And that'll bring up Trip Clark.
Do you believe in momentum during a baseball game?
I believe it's an easy thing to talk about.
Because if there is, I mean, each team has had it, and then, you wonder where it goes from here.
Yeah, Penman were looking pretty good after the back-to-back home runs, chasing the talented starting pitcher for Angelo State, Ben Elder, in that second inning with a 4-1 lead. And then the next half inning, Angelo State did what they needed to. Make every out matter, erase that deficit, get back on track. Count 1 and 2 to the 9-hitter Clark.
If somebody put a clock on Roberge, he'd be one of the fastest pitchers out there as far as how quick he works.
Right on cue.
They call him Robo.
See a variety of coaches who have made their way out to scout the opposition. A strikeout for Robo. 2 away.
That's his 4th, and he has K'd 2 hitters twice, Beck and Harris, for his 4 strikeouts.
Now batting the catcher, Trip Clark.
I think I said the previous batter was Harris. That was Thomas Kane who was at the plate.
Yeah, Kane then Harris.
And Harris there. And Trip Clark, first pitch he sees, a base hit. Here we go again. Angelo State with a 2-out rally.
It's tough to navigate your way through this lineup because everybody can hit. And we already saw what Clark can do with his arm as the catcher, throwing out a would-be base stealer, and he can swing the bat too.
And that brings the top of the order back up. And let's see if we're going to have a pinch hitter here. As this is going to be Reese Johnson.
Well, this might mean that Beck's thumb wasn't feeling so great because Austin Beck had missed the Super Regional with a thumb issue, and he struck out his first 2 times up, so probably wasn't feeling great.
Number 3, Reese Johnson.
Johnson, 41st appearance this year, did make 24 starts. He's right at 300 on the year, with a couple home runs, 24 RBI, and here he comes in a situation with 2 outs, runner on. Runner is going, throw to the wrong side of the bag and still gets the tag applied. Daniel Rivera able to squeeze the ball in and catch Clark stealing. Reese Johnson, the pinch hitter, is going to have to wait till next inning to swing that bat. He'll put his glove on and take over at second base. We are still tied here in Cary, North Carolina, 4 runs apiece. Penman with a chance to find their second lead on the day. At one point led 4-1 thanks to back-to-back home runs in the second inning. Lincoln Rose, Joe Castellano with you here at Coleman Field. 8 teams are still in contention for the national championship. 7 of them would be first-time national champions.
The Angelo State caps, are those faded on purpose, or is that just because they've been in the sun all year?
No, that is West Texas being closer to the sun.
Yeah.
Every now and then there's a baseball player that's a little superstitious.
But, by the way, you saw Reese Johnson. He stays in the game to play second.
First baseman, Michael LaRocca.
Here's Michael LaRocca, one of the 4 men who scored back in the second inning, one of the 4 men who had a base hit that inning. 1 for 1 today. Leads off here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. This is your 4-seed versus 5-seed matchup, so obviously expected to be as well suited for each other as anybody, and the scoreboard would reflect that. So LaRocca, Jimenez, and Kennedy due up. 1-1. Will this get down? It will not. Kobe Kelton hesitated for a moment, but made up for lost time, coming in for the diving catch.
A little adventurous out there for Kelton.
Another look at Kelton laying out for this one.
Nice job. Almost looked like he fell into a sinkhole. Now, there's a reason I'm saying that. So the practice field for Southern New Hampshire, they have sinkholes and they can't practice on their own field. So throughout the whole season, really, they haven't been able to practice at home. They are the road warriors. All their games have been on the road. Think about that for a season. That's pretty tough. You can't practice or play at home.
Here's Ricky Jimenez. Last time he came up in the second inning, there were 2 men on, nobody out. And he escorted that ball out to left to give them a lead. Lays off that one.
It was such good hitting because he got ahead in the count 3-1. And that's where you got to look for something that you're going to drive out of the ballpark, and that's what he got.
His first time to see Kyle Mosley, who came on in relief later that inning. Slow roller. Williams charges across the diamond. Yeah, no sweat. 2 away. Jordan Williams making it look easy.
Yeah, it's a play that you watch at third baseman, and you always admire how they can keep their footwork together on this. Look how agile he is and get off an accurate throw with a lot of velocity on it because he's not even setting his feet.
He knew he had time to still work with the glove. Here's Alex Kennedy, also with a home run that second inning. 1 for 1 today. He's the last man for Southern New Hampshire to score in this ball game. When he touched home, it was 4-1. Angelo State, to its credit, struck for 3 the next half inning. Right side, as Kyle Mosley truly has been a calming influence out there in relief, as he has now helped retire 9 in a row. Again, no shortage of ups and downs in this ballgame for each dugout. Angelo State saw a 1-0 lead evaporate, turn into a 3-run deficit. They quickly fought back. Now they're looking for their second lead of the day, still facing Josh Roberge on the mound in his 5th inning of work. Both teams 4 runs on 5 hits and an error. Mentioned 4 versus 5 seed. Once we establish which 8 teams have won their regions, the committee reseeds them, in part so that it's not the same regions once they get to Cary always beating up on each other. This is Reese Johnson, who was at the plate when a teammate was caught stealing to end the last inning. Saw him out there in second base defensively, as Austin Beck's day has come to an end. Johnson out of Dripping Springs, Texas, started his career at Temple Junior College. Dripping Springs has some pretty good barbecue.
Delicious.
Now to Rivera at short. 1 away. That'll bring up Kobe Kelton. All Kobe's done today is go 2 for 2 with 2 runs scored. Mixed in a stolen base along the way. By the way, had a diving catch out in right field.
Yeah, that was a nice catch. You know, I think the wind might have affected that ball. He had to come in on it. Kind of died. Right now the wind is blowing straight in from right field. It's the windiest that we've had it here the last couple days.
Seems greedy to ask Kobe to do more in this game. We're just midway through. See that wind blowing out towards left. We've seen one ball get over the left field wall, one over right field. Angelo State, see if they can show off their power. 2-1. Count goes full with one out to Kobe Kelton, with Aaron Walters on deck. And the count stays full. 7th pitch of the at-bat coming up.
I don't think I've seen too many pitchers like Roberge. I mean, he doesn't even walk around the mound very much. And if there's nobody on base, I mean, he just gets the ball, gets the sign, doesn't really shake anything off, and just throws it.
Kelton punched that one foul. Over towards Southern Arkansas, who records the out. And Kelton again asked for time. Eighth pitch from Roberge. And this one, another skyward fly ball out towards left. Kennedy gives way to his center fielder, Taveras. 2 away.
It's a part of the order where Roberge got wild back in the 3rd inning. Walk, hit batsman. You know, you're trying to work around some of these great hitters. Sometimes you overdo it.
A free pass to Aaron Walters, his last time up, as he would ultimately come home to score. Officially 0 for 1 today with a pop out.
A couple of sliders to start out this at-bat.
Roberge looking for his 2nd perfect inning in his start today. You just wonder what's realistic for Ben Elder in terms of the next time we see him. Just a couple of innings of work today. Angelo State comes back for a win. Is he maybe starting game 3?
Yeah, he might have a bit of a confidence issue because he didn't pitch well here and didn't pitch well in his last outing in the Super Regional. And he's the ace of the staff.
3 up, 3 down. Josh Roberge holds serve. We are get a look there at some of your recent national champions. Of course, last year's Wingate, who lost its first game of the week against these Rams of Angelo State, only to win the whole thing. Tampa, a regular. The only logo up there that's back this year is the Golden Rams of Westchester, your 2-time national champions. Pretty good chance we crown a first-time champion this year. Could it be one of these 2 programs? Home half of the 5th inning. As the Pinmen lead things off with Idelson Taveras out of the 9th spot, facing Kyle Mosley. And what an asset Kyle Mosley will prove to be if he can really chew up all these innings while at the same time keep the bats of the Pinmen fairly quiet. He recorded all 3 of those outs in relief in the top of the 3rd. I should say in the bottom of the 2nd, after Southern New Hampshire had taken a 4-1 lead. Angelo State able to erase that deficit quickly. Taveras is now seeing Mosley for a 2nd time. He was the first batter that Mosley faced. Grounded the ball right back to him on the first pitch. fourth pitch of this at bat.
Getting back to the history of this tournament, there have been 2 schools that have won a lot. Florida Southern has won it 9 times. Tampa's won it 8 times. Cal Poly Pomona 3. There's a bunch of schools that have won it twice and once.
The number 9 hitter in the lineup for Southern New Hampshire has been hit by a pitch to lead off here in the 5th inning, as the Pinmen hoping to reclaim a lead here.
Boy, that was just a breaking ball that just never broke.
Shortstop Daniel Rivera.
Tampa was in the conversation of trying to get back this year. Super regionals typically are flooded with teams that are very credible in getting back. It was Rollins, though, that got through the Sunshine State Conference this year to punch their ticket this season. Here's Daniel Rivera. He's reached on a double and an error. He's been stranded on third. He's been caught stealing. Has not had a chance to touch home yet today. Comes up with 1 on and nobody out. As right now, Idelson Tavares, potential go-ahead run for the Pinmen, has the attention of Kyle Mosley.
Mosley has faced 10 batters. 2 have reached base, 1 on an error and 1 on a hit by pitch. He has not allowed any hits.
See if he can get a double play ball. As he has faced the minimum coming into this inning in relief. Two and one.
It's not a pitching staff that has a lot of velocity, and we're going to get a visit here from the pitching coach. So they have to be on with their pitches. They got to hit their spots, and it looks like Mosley all of a sudden has kind of lost his release point.
Both these programs here a year ago. I don't think either was guilty last year of simply being happy to be here, like we sometimes see with some programs. For Angelo State, again, it's become almost expected from the very beginning of this program. Kyle Mosley's done a really nice job in relief. His catcher, Trip Clark. Right now, a 2-1 count to Daniel Rivera with Idelson Tavares after being hit by a pitch, still over there on first. Mosley is a left-hander, has a good view at him. And Tavares calls for time. Still 2 teams who have yet to make their debut this week. That's coming up next. That is North Greenville and Westchester. North Greenville from next door in South Carolina. And a big cut from Daniel Rivera, 2-2.
You'd have to consider North Greenville to be the favorite. #1 team in the country, #1 seed.
You talk about parity in that region. It has never produced the same champion in back-to-back years. And I believe it's now sent 9 different teams to Cary. Runner going, great jump. And that's going to be a stand-up stolen base for Idelson Tavares with the pitch in the dirt. Bases belongs to Tavares. As full count now to Rivera.
Well, both of these teams are trying to put the pressure on the defense by running. Never easy to do against a lefty, but he got a great jump, Tavares did.
So go ahead run in scoring position. And you talk about the contrast now between Mosley and Roberge and their styles. I don't think we've seen a batter step out on Roberge yet. Just foul. This would be the Rams' 3rd straight year here, but they fell to Colorado Mesa in the Super Regional in 2019. They've had 40-plus wins in the past 3 seasons, already sitting on 50 wins this year. Just trying to keep this a tied ball game for now here in the 5th. The 3-2. This should be the first down of the inning, and I don't think the runner's going to have a chance to drift anywhere. 1 away.
Well, that's not what you wanted to do if you were Rivera. You wanted to try to get that runner over to third with less than 2 outs, but just didn't work out for him.
I mean, I think in total yesterday, I think we saw 1 successful sacrifice bunt. And it actually turned into the man who's given himself up being able to run the bases.
Yeah, I think it's tough, too, if you're trying to hit to the right side when you have 2 strikes. At that point, you just want to make contact. You're really not a lot of times able to hit to the right side.
Here's Mercedes looking for his first base hit today. A foul out and a pop out so far. Third bat of this inning, 1 on, 1 out.
Hit a big home run in the Super Regional in the clincher against Malloy. Mercedes did.
Just a modest lead there on second for Taveras, who stole second after being hit by a pitch to lead off this inning. So the number 9 hitter reached. Here's your 2 hitter in the lineup, Mercedes. Penman scoring all their runs on home runs back in the second inning. That would have required an incredible pickoff move, as Taveras maybe a step off the back.
Well, Johnson's playing almost straight up the middle, so he can get over there. That's going to make it tough if Taveras was thinking about trying to steal third. You can't really get a great lead when the second baseman is that close to the bag.
The 1-1 to Mercedes. Lays off it. 2-1. A mixed crowd reaction, about 50-50.
Did he go? Ooh, that was close. I don't think he went.
Very close.
By the way, Johnson at second, he stands almost up the middle, but then he moves into a conventional second base spot.
Punched out towards right. Kobe Kelton has proven capable. He's going to put himself in position to send his momentum to third on the throw. But that was still too tall of a task. Idelson Taveras, 2 batters later, has moved over to third. A wild pitch, a pass ball, and the Penmen might have themselves another lead. Saw Kobe Kelton out there in right field. Got under the ball, backtracked a little bit so that at least his momentum could come in to give him hope, but it was too much to ask. 2 away.
Now they're big boppers coming up in Henry.
Mosley struck out Henry the first time they faced back in the 3rd inning. And that'll end the threat. Aaron Walters scoops it up behind the bag after Taveras is hit by a pitch. A couple of fly outs and a ground out. And we are still tied here in Cary. Not a bad vantage point throughout the ballpark. Lincoln Rose, Joe Castellano with you. A look into the dugout of Angelo State. 5th trip to the national championship, and they were our hosts in Grand Prairie. Though Grand Prairie not necessarily close to St. Angelo. Appreciate their staff helping out that year. That was the year that Westchester won its most recent national championship. Those Golden Rams, by the way, are on an 8-game winning streak in championship weeks. They swept 4-0 in 12, swept 4-0 in 17.
Wow, so that's on the line when they play Greenville.
We'll see them later tonight.
Yeah, about 3 hours from now.
Unless these teams want to still be playing at that time. right now.
Don't even say that.
Top of the 6th, tied ball game. Saw a lot of fireworks early. Angelo State scored 1 in the first. Southern New Hampshire 4 in the second. ASU with 3 in the third. Here's Justin Lee, your cleanup hitter. An RBI double in the first, a walk and a run scored in the third. 1 for 1 today.
Man, he got clocked on the left hand his last time up there, and you wondered how that would affect him. He seems to be okay.
Yeah, I think I said walk, hit by pitch.
Well, Coach Brooks was telling us that growing up, Coach Brooks, maybe not growing up, but just as an adult, was a big Jeff Bagwell fan. Let's put it that way. And Jeff Bagwell got hit on the hand quite a bit, and he always teaches his players to try not to get hit, but he has a lot of players that seem to get hit by pitches quite a bit.
The 1-2 to Lee. Lays off that one from Roberge.
They have 144 hit by pitches this year. That's a lot in 63 games now.
Punched out towards right. Sam Henry patrolling right field. 1 away. And it's not like they're wearing all the armor.
No.
So they probably have some bruises to reflect some of those 100+.
Third baseman Jordan Williams.
That's 4 straight batters retired by Roberge. He's worked back-to-back innings where he's just faced the minimum thanks to a runner caught stealing factored in. Here's Jordan Williams, flied out back in the first after Angelo State had claimed a lead briefly at the time. And a 2-run single in the third.
That might bring Mercedes in at third a little bit after that fake bunt. In fact, Mercedes, now he's playing about even with a bag. He was playing all the way back. He's saying, is he thinking about bunting? I'm going to have to come in.
Not that time. 1-2. And Williams, a grad student now. Already 1 diploma in his back pocket.
So grad student against grad student here?
See whose dissertation is successfully defended. Left side, shoots it to Mercedes. 2 away.
Well, that was interesting because Mercedes with 2 strikes was able to go back again. And you wonder if he had been playing even with a bag, would he have fielded that? It would have been that much faster getting to him. The velocity on that was hit pretty hard.
Yeah, you would have seen more self-defense.
Right.
Had he been charging up on that one. Here's your DH today for Angelo State, Tayton Treadway. Has lined out and walked. Was stranded on second back in the third. That's when both runners started to drift off the bag, trying to catch the penman. And a decision to make. And how about that from Sam Henry? Made the gamble to leave his feet. That ball almost gets by him, but is able to avoid the worst-case scenario. It's just a 2-out single for Treadway.
See, that's exactly how you want to play that if you're Henry and any right fielder or outfielder. I mean, you know that you cannot afford to have that go by you with 2 outs in a tie game. You want to make the best effort you can, so he made that effort, goes stretching out for it, but made sure that if he didn't catch it, it was still going to end up in his glove on a bounce.
Bottom third of the order now for the Rams, being asked to come through with 2 outs. As here's Thomas Kane, 0 for 2 today, ground out to the pitcher and a fly out to right. Josh Roberge, your starting pitcher, still going strong here into the 6th.
Kane is a guy who had to come back from a broken hand. It seems like we've talked about that with a few players that have had hand injuries, which are always tough to come back from in baseball.
And an 0-2 hole. Lays off that one. Mentioned Kane replaced Jackson Hardy in center field. Runner going. This one's shot to center, but on the fly. Oh, little deception, and Tavares may have outthought himself. They'll slam on the brakes, runners on the corners. Look, there's 2 outs, so if you're trying to sell them to stop running because you're going to catch the ball, that's a moot point. And then Tavares almost let this ball get away.
Well, I thought Tavares was going to catch it. He fooled me, too, and it bounced in front of him. It looked like it may be worthy of a diving catch or diving effort. Meanwhile, the base running there coming around third base with Treadaway. Coach Brooks initially waved him home, and I don't know that he yelled at him to stop, but Coach Brooks was kind of frustrated. I think he wanted Treadaway to try to score there, and I don't know if Treadaway might have shaken himself up a little because he looks a little tiny bit hobbled coming around third base.
So I'm slamming on the brakes. Thought maybe as that ball got away from Tavares there'd be a chance, but Tavares was able to regroup. First 2 batters this inning retired. The next 2 batters with singles. Men on the corners. He's going to stick with Treadway as your runner there on third. Remember, that's a DH, but not going to run for him. And Justin Harris, who has struck out twice today against Roberge, is being asked to come through in a moment. Presumably still against Josh Roberge.
I don't think that would have been the best decision for Treadaway to try to score there, because when I was watching Tavares, he had the ball in his hand, and he would have been ready to make a throw. I think he would have been out by a lot.
That ball took a funny hop, but he was able to recover quickly.
Coach Brooks discussing that situation that just occurred with the base runner there, Tate Treadaway.
All right, so that's your second visit to the mound, and don't you know what, Roberge acts like he's been waiting on all of us this whole time. He's already ready to go.
Yeah, he doesn't like these moments when he has to hesitate. I think that hit the bat.
Yep, foul ball. Runners on the corners with 2 outs. First 2 batters were retired. Should be the knob of the bat. It is.
No argument there.
What an honest young man Justin Harris is.
I know. I mean, I think even Derek Jeter was trying to pull one over on an umpire one time like that.
All right, Angelo State's not going to outthink themselves by sending the runner to second. Remember, they did run themselves out of that third inning after tying the game. That inning possibly could have produced even more. Right now they lean on their 8-hitter Harris to come through.
Kane has a big lead at first, huge lead.
Now the runner goes. They'll concede second. That ball gets away. Angelo State has taken the lead. You send the runner. You force the defense to execute the fundamentals, and sometimes it's easier said than done. The throw goes into left as Treadaway comes home the final 90 feet.
Yeah, I don't know about that decision to throw over to third. I mean, you know, unless you're going to really get the guy by a lot, why take the chance there? You fake that throw, just hang on to it, just eat it. And he throws it into the runner. It hits Treadaway, and then he scores.
And one pitch later, Angelo State has tacked on another.
Well, that's always possible when you have 2 outs. If you see that the third baseman isn't playing in, you can lay one down and get a base hit and then get that run in. And that's exactly what he does here. I mean, 2-out bunt. The third baseman was playing about even with a bag. That's a beautiful bunt.
Yeah, I don't pick that bunt up. Your only hope is that it might take a turn foul. Unlikely, but that's at that point your only hope.
And it could have. It could have.
So Angelo State now has a 2-run lead.
Small ball. And that's what Coach Brooks talked about with this team. It's different than other teams that he's taken to the D2 championship. They play a lot of small ball.
Here's Tripp Clark. It's another inning in which Angelo State finds multiple runs after 2 outs are recorded to begin the inning.
And they've stolen 4 bases and caused 2 errors on the stolen bases.
Again, obviously, there's some added pressure here in Cary. Sometimes executing just some basic plays. A little pitch and catch can prove problematic.
Meanwhile, Roberge is over 100 pitches, yet no action in the Penmen bullpen.
Leaning the wrong way, but still getting back in time, Justin Harris. Sometimes you see these throws to first to buy time in the bullpen, but we are not seeing any urgency to get an arm warmed up over there. So this is just sincere concern about the base runner. Runner is going. Throw down to second. Stolen base for Harris. He's going to try to take another 90 feet. He's got it. Wow.
Five stolen bases now in the game, and 3 errors on those stolen bases. 2 by the catcher, Schwartz, in this inning.
That's a couple times where empty gloves have been trying to apply tags when it's probably more critical you get that ball in that glove.
Yeah, but that time you do give the error to the catcher, Schwartz, because it was a 1-bounce throw.
All this while Trip Clark, your 9-hitter, just patiently waits for his pitch. A 3-1 count.
And 5 of the 6 runs, if I'm not mistaken, have come with 2 down, nobody on, where they started rallies.
The only run that scored with fewer than 2 outs was their first run of the ball game. 3-2. First 2 batters in the 3rd inning were retired. Then the next 3 men scored. Story here in the 6th, first 2 men retired, a fly out and ground out. Then the next 2 scored. As Clark will fight that one foul. 7th pitch of his at bat coming up.
We might have to have our man Benny checking the record for stolen bases for a team in a game.
Have him call his friend Ryan. Roberge 1 pitch away from getting out of this inning. Not going to be that pitch. 4 straight Rams have reached with 2 outs here in the 6th. 2 have already scored.
They're starting to move around in the Southern New Hampshire bullpen. The right-hander grabbing a baseball is Trevor Annaball.
Top of the order, second baseman, Reese Johnson.
Along with Trevor. The one other arm out there as well. Back to the top of the order, here's Reese Johnson. His 2nd at bat since coming in for Austin Beck. Rams on the corners. Will they try to take second base again here? And see if the Penmen can either execute or just back down. That's Griffin Gilbert also out there in the bullpen, the sophomore. Harris, your runner on 3rd. Clark, your runner on 1st. Johnson, your 5th batter to come up with 2 outs.
$116 pitches now for Roberge in the 6th inning.
Two and 0.
$29 pitches in this inning.
In their first strike. Again, Southern New Hampshire gave him a 4-1 lead after the first 2 innings thanks to those back-to-back bombs in that 2nd inning. But Angelo State, the next half inning, clawed all those runs back. Now have taken a 2-run lead here in the 6th. 2-2.
I think it's really tough when you've had a long day like this as a pitcher And then you got an inning where you're throwing over 30 pitches. I mean, I just think this is where you're running out of gas.
He's the last starting pitcher remaining in this ball game. Angelo State did not get out of the second inning. And gets a strikeout to end the sixth inning, but not before. 3 straight singles from Angelo State helped produce 2 runs, all with 2 outs. And it's the Rams up on the Penman by a pair. Second straight year, Southern New Hampshire graces the outfield wall here in Cary, North Carolina, as all 8 teams represented from foul pole to foul pole. Angelo State's already gone to their bullpen once so far, and boy, was it the right choice. I mentioned Kyle Mosley has really come on strong the past few weeks this postseason. Needed just 1 pitch to finally record the first elusive out in that second inning, and has not looked back. His teammates have finally given him a lead to work with.
Yeah, who knows why, but he just pitches a lot better out of the bullpen. And I believe we're going to see some relievers for Southern New Hampshire starting in the next inning, because it looks like Roberts was just running out of gas.
Penman scored no fewer than 5 runs in those super regional contests with Malloy. He scored 7 in each of their victories. See if they can find that elusive 5th run here after they plated all 4 of their runs back in the second inning. That was before the Kyle Mosley era began. Nick Schwartz, your catcher for the Penman, 0 for 2 today. A couple of ground outs as he leads off an inning for the first time here in the 6th. Jordan Williams at third. Mentioned he's been working his way back in the lineup as a DH, but back to his old form at the hot corner today.
Yeah, he's looked good at third base. And for the most part, Mosley is just letting his defense do the work. He only has 2 strikeouts.
If you're not going to strike out 15, what's the point? Just work efficiently.
Well, yeah,
let those guys behind you do the heavy lifting.
Keep the pitch count low.
Here's Dakota Mulcahy, a single and a run scored in the second. He came home on that 3-run shot from Ricky Jimenez. Struck out looking to end the 3rd inning. Penman stranded a runner on 3rd last inning. That's really the one blemish for Kyle Mosley. Penman do not have a hit against Mosley. One batter has been hit by pitch, another has reached on an error and then was caught stealing. So Mosley still has just faced 1 more than the minimum in relief. That's a foul ball. Getting in, Angelo State out of the Lone Star Conference. Southern New Hampshire Penman out of the Northeast 10. Penman went 21-3 this year in the Northeast 10. Scott Luazzo, your 5-time now Conference Coach of the Year. Easy to forget that, you know, we say a decade and a half for Coach Luazzo, but back in 2015 from January to June, he was in Norman, Oklahoma. Stepped away to be an assistant coach for the Sooners in the Big 12 and realized grass isn't always greener. And luckily that job had not been filled with the Penman, as it's been a great marriage between the two. He has led them to this final week 4 times. There are the 2-time champion Golden Rams of Westchester. Payoff pitch. They'll do it again. Scott Luazzo now over 400 wins in his tenure. And right now, Mulcahy, who has split time as catcher and DH, today in the DH role. Mentioned 1 for 2. A lefty versus lefty matchup. In on the handle Able to whip the bat around on this one, foul.
Mosley's got a pretty amazing streak going here. He has not allowed an earned run in a long time, since April the 16th at Eastern, I guess it's New Mexico?
Yep.
Since then, he's just had zeros as far as earned runs, and that's over 25 innings of work, including today. That's pretty remarkable.
Again, the payoff pitch to Mulcahy. Just got a piece of it.
So that's 8 outings in a row where he did not allow an earned run.
Today's outing began in the 2nd inning. This one shot out towards right. Kobe Kelton to the warning track, and that's where the ball's going to die down in his glove. It's a nice at bat for Dakota Mulcahy, but it's going to lead to out number 2.
I thought I jinxed Mosley right there because he's been so untouchable. Pitched great against Colorado Mesa in the Super Regional. 6 scoreless, 3 hits allowed.
Gives way to Michael LaRocca, the first baseman, 1 for 2 today with a run scored. Down by 2. Angelo State with its 2nd lead of the day after we had been knotted up 4 runs apiece for a while there. 2 runs in the top half of this inning, both scoring with 2 outs. As they put the pressure on the Pinmen to execute, that's a foul ball. Again, what Angelo State did was truly manufacturing runs. That included squaring around a bunt. Proved to be a bunt single. That brought home the insurance. First time today, Angelo State has had an insurance run for their pitcher. In this case, Kyle Mosley. Think about Mosley, before this inning, had never thrown a pitch today with a lead.
He hasn't given up a hit since he came in.
Nope, just 2 men have reached. That's going to stay the case here. Justin Lee underneath it. 3 up, 3 down. A perfect 6th inning. For the first time, Kyle Mosley given a lead to defend. And that lead is still intact. Angelo State looking to build on a 6-4 advantage, moving on to the 7th.
Alongside Lincoln Rose, I'm Joe Castellano, taking you to the 7th inning on a beautiful day here in Cary, North Carolina. Day 2 of the Division II Baseball Championship. Game number 3. And right now, Angelo State holding a 6-4 lead over Southern New Hampshire. And the Penmen will go to their 2nd pitcher of the day, Trevor Annable, after Josh Roberge went 6 innings and threw over 100 pitches, gave up 6 runs, struck out 6. Ended up walking 3, hit a batter. Had a lot of stolen bases going on behind him, 5 of them, and 3 errors behind him. So it was difficult to navigate all of that. So out of the 6 runs, 4 earned for Roberge.
15th appearance now for Annable, all in relief, and yet a season that was worthy of being first team all-conference, first team all-region. Opposing hitters batting just 148, earned run average of 1.46. Young man with 6 wins and 4 saves in those 14 relief appearances.
So he will try to slow down the Rams as Kelton leads off and takes high for a ball 1-0. Kelton 2 for 3, 2 singles, 2 runs scored, a stolen base, and he is flied to center. Annable, a sophomore from Bedford, New Hampshire. The right-hander deals, and that's in for a strike. 6 runs, 8 hits for Angelo State, 1 error, and they have 5 stolen bases. Southern New Hampshire, 4 runs, 5 hits, 3 errors.
And Angelo State needs to hurry up and get 2 outs so then they can start producing.
They've been great in that situation. Foul ball right side. It remains 1-2.
First 2 batters retired last inning before 3 straight hits from Treadaway, Kane, and Harris, the first 2 of whom scored. Kobe Kelton's already scored twice today.
1-2 to Kelton. Fouled back. I was just thinking that if you're a starting pitcher and you're facing Angelo State, the first thing you do is if you pick up a stat sheet, that could be intimidating when you see that the team is hitting 363 and they're averaging over 10 runs a game. And then during the game, when they get on base, they are so pesky. They're just a bunch of pests on the bases, stealing bases and causing your defense to make errors. So it's just not easy, and they work the count. Like just right here, you got a 3-2, or rather a 2-2 count, and 120 pitches for your starting pitcher, Roberge. I mean, he had to work so hard. So it just seems like every guy up there is difficult to deal with. Curveball, now it's 3-2. This is going to be the 8th pitch of this at-bat. A couple of foul balls mixed in. Kelton followed by Walters and Lee, 2, 3, and 4 in the order. Payoff pitch, high ball 4. So another base runner for the Rams. Another guy who can steal. He has one stolen base today in Kelton.
That's the first time all ball game Rams have been able to get their leadoff batter on.
Well, they've had 4 walks and a hit batsman, so some free passes in addition to the 8 hits they have. Here's Aaron Walters, 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored.
Kelton does have a stolen base already today.
Good lead over there, not going. And pitch way outside, 1-0.
It's an unintentional pitch out.
Anibald throws 86 to 90 miles an hour with his fastball. Throws a curveball. So he's not going to blow you away with heat. Ground ball first base side off the body of LaRocca. Only one play. That's the first 3 unassisted. On the play, Kelton goes down to second.
Yeah, LaRocca gets the out. If he manages to secure that one cleanly, may have had a throw and a decision to make. Trying to turn 2.
That'll bring up Justin Lee, who came into this game batting .441, and he actually has upped his average a little bit. He's 1 for 2, an RBI double, a hit by pitch, and a run scored. Collected his 93rd hit of the season back in the first inning. He's 4th in the nation in that category, 3rd in the nation in batting average, and he kind of buckled on that breaking ball right there. 0-1. That was a good one by Anibal.
You're on the Rams bench trying to get more playing time. Exactly who are you pointing at and saying, I deserve to be in the lineup more than that guy?
Exactly. And if you're a pitcher, who do you work around in this order? I mean, you don't want Lee to beat you here, but Williams on deck is hitting .373, so you don't exactly want to work around anybody. Kelton, good speed at second and a bluff to second base. Now, what do you call the color of that glove that Anibal has? I mean, it's bluish, but is that teal? I mean, it doesn't look like the school colors. Or is that a faded blue? What is that? Lee swings and cues one on the first base side of the infield. Picked up by that bluish glove. And tossing the first, Anibal to get Lee on the play. Kelton goes to third.
I just don't think anybody's ever accidentally grabbed Trevor's glove.
I want to take it home. I like it. I think it would look good on the shelf somewhere because it's unusual.
With some seashells around it?
Yeah. Maybe the Marlins pitcher should be wearing that glove. Right? I like it. Jordan Williams climbs in. 1 for 3, a 2-run single. And trying to pick up the runner from third, Kelton. And don't put it past the Rams to lay down a bunt. In fact, Mercedes now more aware of that, playing even with a bag at third. Called strike. Earlier, there was a bunt for a base hit with 2 outs and a runner at third by Harris. As he noticed the third baseman wasn't in, and he laid down a nice bunt and scored a run. Williams with 2 outs here has a 1-1 count. They'll do anything to get a run home with small ball and speed ball. Anibal deals and a breaking ball. Nice stop by Schwartz, the catcher. He hasn't had his best game with a couple of throwing errors, but he just saved a run right there. There's a lot of room between home plate and the backstop. The ball gets by the catcher. Kelton could score pretty easily. Fastball outside. 3-1. The Penmen probably feeling that they can ill afford to give up any more runs. The 3-1 in there for a strike. Full count now to Jordan Williams. Tayton Treadaway on deck. The payoff pitch to Williams. Outside, ball 4. Missed with the fastball. First and third, 2 outs. That's 5 walks now for the Penmen pitchers.
Including 2 this inning, with a couple of outs sandwiched in between.
Here's Tayton Treadaway, 1 for 2, single, run scored, walk. He had a big grand slam in Game 3 of the Super Regional against Colorado Mesa. Down 6-5, he had a grand slam and put Angelo State up for good. That was huge for Treadaway and the Rams. Breaking ball low, 1-0. And I got to know Tayton's dad, Chad Treadaway, when he was playing minor league baseball in the Padres organization. He once hit a grand slam that won somebody a car in the grand slam inning. So there's something about grand slams with the Treadaway family. I'll just never forget that. It was a long time ago, but I'll never forget somebody winning a car in the grand slam inning. You don't see that very often. Chad Treadaway spent 6 years in the minor leagues with the Cubs and Padres organizations. By the way, Tayton's grandfather, Reggie, he coached at UT Pan Am as he takes a called strike, so baseball is really in the family. His brother is the starting center fielder with Oklahoma. The Treadaways have baseball in their blood. 2-1 to Treadaway. 2 on, and he fouls it back, 2-2.
Yeah, UT Pan Am, now UTRGV. The members of the New Look Western Athletic Conference.
Runner goes, and they're just going to let him steal second? No, they're getting in a rundown. Seems wise to just let Williams take second so he gets the stolen base. That's 6 stolen bases now for Angelo State.
Yeah, you still have a chance to end this inning with no damage done right here with a 2-2 count on the batter, Treadaway.
2 in scoring position. Popped up, shallow left for Kennedy. The shortstop going back, Rivera, and he'll make the play. That retires the side. Angelo State comes up empty despite 2 walks. They leave 2 in scoring position. 7th inning stretch, 2-run lead for Angelo State.
No runs, no hits, no errors.
Heading to the bottom of the 7th inning here in Cary, Angelo State, one of the 8 teams on the outfield wall, making their visit to the Division II championship for the 5th time, facing off with Southern New Hampshire. The battle of 2 teams that were here last year. The other 6 teams were not here last season. And it is 6-4 in favor of the Rams as the Penmen come to bat in the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, you think about the teams who in recent years have been winning, like Augustana and Wingate, who show up, arrive, win it all, say, oh, easy as that, huh? While some other teams have been knocking on that door year in, year out. One of these 2 teams would love to finally get over that hump.
Well, for Southern New Hampshire, last year was tough. Here's Jimenez leading off, and he fouls it back 0-1. Last year, they lost 2 one-run games here, 4-3 to Seton Hill and 3-2 to Wingate, the eventual champion. So this team really hungry to get back here and try to win a game. Pitch in the dirt, 1-1 to Jimenez, who had a 3-run homer in the 2nd inning, his 7th of the year, and things were looking great for Southern New Hampshire. In that inning, they had back-to-back homers, and they were up 4-1, but the next 5 runs scored by Angelo State. Sky to center, deep. Kane back under control, 1 away. That was hit pretty well, but it just didn't carry for Jimenez. Now Alex Kennedy, who hit his home run on the first pitch after the Jimenez homer in the second inning. So back-to-back homers on consecutive pitches. You know what's interesting about that? Kennedy, by the way, that was his third homer. In the Super Regional against Colorado Mesa, look out. Almost hit him, it didn't. In the Colorado Mesa game in the Super Regional, in the Game 3 decisive game, Colorado Mesa hit back-to-back homers on consecutive pitches. Same deal. And Angelo State still won that game. I was talking about the grand slam by Treadaway. Same situation where you had, you're shell-shocked by back-to-back homers on consecutive pitches, but it doesn't bother your offense. Nothing bothers the Rams' offense. 2-0 to Kennedy. Outside and high, 3-0. So Mosley, who's been so great, maybe tiring a little bit here in the seventh. We'll see.
Yeah, again, Mosley inserted with nobody out in the second inning.
That's ball 4 on 4 pitches out of the zone. That is very strange for him because, yeah, as you mentioned, he came in the second and he's only had 2 base runners before this, one on an error, one on a hit by pitch, and now this walk, the third base runner, since he came in the second.
Now batting center fielder, Idelson Taveras.
So Idelson Taveras is the tying run at the plate. 0 for 1, tried to bunt his way on but was put out, and he's been hit by a pitch. Hit down the left field side. Here comes Lee in foul territory, out of play.
Taveras, when he was hit by a pitch in the 5th, that was the 3rd inning in which Southern New Hampshire was able to get their leadoff man on. Only one of those innings led to runs. It was that 4 runs second inning. Conversely, Angelo State's only gotten their leadoff man on once. That was last inning. They would strand 2, score none.
0-2 to Taveras. The pitch, curveball in the dirt, gets away from Clark. On to second goes Kennedy. A wild pitch. So a man in scoring position. The starter Elder only lasted 1+ innings and gave up 4 runs, all earned on 4 hits and 2 homers. I mean, he allowed 4 straight hits to start the second and then was pulled, and Mosley quieted it down. They do have some action in the Angelo State bullpen. 1-2 to Taveras, way high. 2-2.
You think there's still some drama left in this ball game?
Oh, yeah. I believe that's Carson Childers in the bullpen. Yes, it is, for Angelo State.
Yeah, another Round Rock High School product on this Angelo State squad, former Dragon.
Somebody who pitched here last year in the D2 championship for Angelo State. 2-2 to Taveras. Look out, it hit him. And Mosley is definitely not himself. It's the second time he's hit Taveras. So the tying runs are on base here in the 7th with 1 out. And that's going to do it, I believe, for Mosley. Coach Brooks has the hook. After that hit by pitch, we'll see Childers when we come back here in Cary. 6-4 Angelo State in the 7th inning. Six-4 Angelo State. We're in the 7th inning, and the big right-hander Carson Childers comes out of the bullpen for the Rams. He's 6'5", 235, the redshirt junior, who last year had a 2.06 ERA and a 28-1 record. This has been a different year. I mean, his record's good at 8-2, but his ERA 6.29. This will be his 24th appearance and his 14th in relief.
Well, we're going to be talking about it for as long as Angelo State's in this tournament, but what a job by Kyle Mosley. as at the moment he leaves as your pitcher of record on the winning side of things. See if Childers can help maintain that lead.
5 1/3 innings for Mosley. No runs, but responsible for 2 men on base here. Here's Daniel Rivera with a tying runs on base. 1 for 3 for the leadoff hitter, a double. And he takes called strike. 0-1 facing Childers, who can throw his fastball upper 80s, up to maybe 90, a splitter, a slider, a cutter, and a changeup. So a lot of movement on his pitches. Childers deals, and that pitch missed low. Looked like the splitter there.
Yeah, Mosley not only didn't allow any runs, didn't allow any hits, allowed 4 base runners. 3 of them were the 8 and 9 hitters, with Taveras being hit by pitch twice.
1 on an error, the 2 hit by pitches, and 1 walk. Kennedy at second, Taveras at first, and Rivera, the leadoff hitter, at the plate. 293 hitter. Takes a strike, and it's 1-2. 6 runs, 8 hits, and an error for Angelo State. 4 runs, 5 hits, 3 errors for Southern New Hampshire.
You're the pinman right now. 8 outs to work with.
Bluff to second. Childers, his last outing against Colorado Mesa in the Super Regional, gave up 6 runs, all earned in 3 innings, and 8 hits. So hard to have a lot of confidence after that. We'll see how he responds here. The 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Big rip by Rivera with 2 strikes. And he strikes out for out number 2.
There's that elusive second out. As Childers is able to retire the first batter he faces in relief.
Here's Christian Mercedes. He is 0 for 3 today. Runners lead at first and second. The pitch. Ground ball, left side, third baseman Williams. Fires to second to get the force, and the inning is over. Great job by Childers to leave 2 men on base. We head to the 8th, 6-4, Angelo State. Alongside Lincoln Rose, I'm Joe Castellano. Delighted to have you with us for the Division II Baseball Championship. Angelo State up 6-4 as we go to the 8th. What a job by Carson Childers to leave those 2 men on base, getting those last 2 outs of the 7th. And now we go to the 8th. Thomas Kane will lead it off, followed by Justin Harris and Trip Clark for the Rams to try to add to their lead up against Anibal with that interesting glove. Tiffany blue, according to our director, Thomas. I don't know about that. Wait, I never heard of Tiffany blue.
Never heard of Thomas.
Well, we got Thomas, our director, and we got Thomas at the plate here. Thomas Kane. 1 for 3, a single and a run scored. He rips one, caught at shortstop by Rivera. Quick feet for the shortstop Rivera to snare that one. 1 pitch, 1 away for Anibal.
Now batting the shortstop, Justin Harris.
And that's the ideal start. You're 1 out closer, getting back into your dugout, grabbing those bats again, down by 2. I don't think you're counting on Angelo State not scoring again in this ball game.
Yeah, they're 4 runs below their average. When you average 10 runs a game, as Harris takes a ball 1-0. Harris had an interesting RBI his last time up, bunted with the runner at third. Lines one, deep left, Kennedy back at the warning track, off the wall. It gets by him. Harris headed around second base. Will he try for 3? Yes, and he will make it standing up. A 1-out triple for Justin Harris.
Wow. Probably should have been a double, officially a triple for Justin Harris. Shows his wheels. And when Kennedy can't play that ball off the wall, Harris now 90 feet away from that insurance run.
His second triple of the season. That ball caromed hard off the wall. No hesitation. to get to third, he thought about, hey, maybe I'll score.
Yeah, I like that.
So after he had that bunt single that brought in a run from third base, the runner from third base with 2 outs, now he has a triple. Here's Clark with the infield in, 1-0. I mean, the Penmen know they cannot really give up any more runs. They're trying to come back in this game, so they bring that infield in.
Again, both these teams have tomorrow off no matter what. I like to envision Harris spending all of tomorrow talking to Coach Brooks saying, I'm pretty sure you cost me an inside-the-park home run.
Well, let's take a look. Well, he tried to wave him later. I don't know if that would have been a good decision.
No, I agree. Absolutely not. But it'll be worth the conversation tomorrow.
2-0 here to Clark, who's 1 for 2 with a walk. Had a single back in the 4th inning. Also had a nice throw to second to nail a base stealer as the Angelo State catcher. And he gets ahead 3-0 against Hannibal. They do have more action in the Penmen bullpen. I believe that is Griffin Gilbert throwing in the pen for Southern New Hampshire. 3-0 pitch, and he's taking 3-1.
Yeah, Gilbert started warming up right around the same time Hannibal started warming up. And Trevor got the nod.
3-1 to Clark. Breaking ball bounced weakly to third. Runner coming towards the plate. Mercedes throws the slide. He's out. Nice play by Christian Mercedes.
Really well done by Mercedes. Knew that the priority the entire time was going home. Nick Schwartz gave him a target. And Mercedes throws a dart.
Nice composure by the third baseman.
Well, and now, let's see if they review this, asking about obstruction.
No. I mean, that's just a clean play.
Well, right now, you have Kevin Brooks talking things over. He's being told it wasn't. Best he can hope for is the umpires come together. It's not going to be the case, and you are correct.
Yeah.
He was not going to prevail on that.
Yeah, nice job, I think, by Nick Schwartz to set up, to catch that ball and make the tag. Everything was done well. Mercedes got rid of the ball fairly quickly, nice and accurate. And you had a runner going on contact there in Harris. So runner at first, 2 down, and here at the top of the order is Reese Johnson. Throw to first, back safe is Clark. You know, even though if you got a catcher who's a number 9 hitter, a catcher at first, you think, oh, he's not going to be a base stealer. He's got 16 steals and 18 attempts. He was caught stealing earlier today. There's a called strike. But it is 6 steals in 8 attempts for the Rams in this game. They can run at any moment. And with 2 outs, you would think they're thinking about it here. 1-1 to Reese Johnson, who came in the game for Beck, and he's 0 for 2 at the plate. Beck, who had returned to the lineup after a thumb injury, and maybe wasn't completely healthy as he struck out twice. They took him out of the game for Reese Johnson. Fouls it straight back, and it's 1-2.
That out at home, the second out today made by Angelo State at home.
Yeah, they had the caught stealing play where they were out
between third and home.
Between third and home, right. That was back in the 3rd inning. Way outside, 2-2. So Angelo State, they had a 1-0 lead. They watched Southern New Hampshire score 4 in the 2nd with back-to-back homers. But since then, Angelo State 3 in the 3rd and 2 in the 6th for this 2-run lead that they have. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So Hannibal gets out of it, does a great job after giving up that triple, and leaves a man on as he picks up his first strikeout. We head to the bottom of the 8th inning, 6-4 Angelo State. We head to the bottom of the 8th inning. Angelo State holding a 6-4 lead in a very important first game of this tournament for both teams. If you lose this game, you end up going into the loser bracket and end up playing in a couple of days on Tuesday. And you would play a day game against the loser of the next game, which is North Greenville taking on West Chester. So Southern New Hampshire trying to come back here against Carson Childers, who did a great job when he came in the 7th. Facing Henry here, who's 0 for 3, and he takes outside 1-0.
6 outs for a 2-run comeback here for Southern New Hampshire.
That is a well-cultivated beard right there by Henry that we didn't get a chance to talk about earlier. 2-0.
I don't think he had that beard in the first inning.
That looks like a playoff hockey beard right there. That kind of looks, to me, it reminds me of Brent Burns of the San Jose Sharks, if you're a hockey fan. Bouncing ball hit to short, well-positioned is Harris. Henry and his beard out number 1. He's 0 for 4. Childers came in with 2 on and 1 out in the 7th, got a strikeout of Rivera, the leadoff hitter, and then induced a ground ball to get out of it. Really did a fine job. And this is a guy who really, I mentioned he struggled in his last outing against Colorado Mesa. In 2 games on back-to-back days against Colorado Mesa, he gave up 11 runs in 3 2/3 innings. Here's Nick Schwartz, takes a called strike, 0-1.
Schwartz is grounded out to third, short, and second. So right now, Aaron Walters should be on notice over there at first.
Yeah, try to hit all of them. That's in the dirt, the breaking pitch, 1-1. Well, this is the battle of the 2 pitchers with colored gloves. I cannot tell you what color this glove is. It has a teal flavor to it.
If only we had a true color analyst.
Oh, that's a good one. 2-1. These guys are getting creative with the colors on these gloves. Here's the pitch. Outside, 3-1 to Schwartz. It's bluish. Maybe it's island blue. 3-1 to Schwartz. Fouled back. 3-2. Nick is hitting .406 coming in. But as we mentioned, 0 for 3 today. But all you need is 1 base runner, and you get the tying run to the plate. And Dakota Mulcahy on deck has plenty of power. And you already mentioned that he is the Penman career leader in homers. 3-2, ripped, base hit left field. Schwartz a 1-out single, and that sets it up. As I mentioned, the potential tying run coming to the plate in Mulcahy.
Yeah, the Penmen absolutely have to find a way to get Schwartz to come home before the end of this inning. You can't assume that Angelo State's just going to finish this ball game with 6 runs. Right now, you still have 5 outs to work with on your comeback.
Mulcahy 1 for 3 today, a single and a run scored. 9 homers this year, 37 in his career, which is a Penman record. Curveball in there, called strike, 0-1. I don't know that he was looking for that pitch.
Well, you've already mentioned it. One mistake pitch, and Dakota ties this ball game up.
Childers has given up a team-high 15 homers this year. Pitch inside, 1-1. 15 homers allowed in 78 2/3 innings. Schwartz, short lead at first. 1-1 to Mulcahy. Fouled back, 1-2, and that was an off-speed pitch that Mulcahy looked to be on. Mulcahy, the senior, trying to deliver here. 1-2 in the dirt. Blocked, but the runner trying to go to second. Schwartz, he'll get there without a throw. So on the wild pitch, Nick Schwartz gets the second base.
Pretty good wheels from the catcher who knows how to read a ball in the dirt.
Yeah, both of these catchers can run.
Need a little help here.
So now a base hit could get the Penmen within 1. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Mulcahy. Childers getting the sign from Clark. Long look in. Now time called. You can see in your picture there the shortstop Harris Trying to keep the runner close at second. Outfield a little bit towards left. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a foul ball at the plate. Barely getting a piece of it was Mulcahy. I think that was the splitter. It's always a tough pitch to throw for a strike, but for a hitter, it's really tough when it just drops off the table like that. Mulcahy probably felt fortunate just to make contact. 2-2 pitch again. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Big strikeout for Childers, his second.
Now batting first baseman Michael LaRocca.
Up above the belt. Michael LaRocca comes up 1 for 3, a single and a run scored. Keep in mind the wind is still blowing in from right. So you really have to wallop it to get it out of here right now, I think. LaRocca only has 1 home run this year. He's not a big power hitter. That's outside 1-0.
And again, a reminder, Schwartz there on second has the only hit against Angelo State relievers all day.
Yeah, it's just been a great time out of the bullpen for these guys, Mosley and now Childers. Tying run at the plate in LaRocca. Here's the pitch. Inside, 1-1 to LaRocca, who missed most of the season with a couple of injuries, returned for the Super Regional. Another player who had a broken hand, sliding into a base, broke his hand. Also had a hamstring injury, so he's had a couple of injuries this year that have kept him out of the lineup. LaRocca swings and fouls it. Or no, he didn't get a piece of it, but just popped out of the catcher's mitt. Counts 2-1.
Well, we have had ideal conditions these first couple of days, and we expect that to continue through the early part of this week for some championship caliber baseball.
They kind of give LaRocca a big gap in right center if he wants to exploit that. Schwartz at second, and they bluff to second base. Penmen have left 4 on base. As you mentioned, they really just haven't had many chances with the great pitching by Mosley out of the pen. 2-1, swing and a miss.
Though their chances have come these last 2 innings, they stranded 2 last inning. They have 1 man currently standing on second base, but with 2 outs now.
LaRocca just trying to make contact here, and Childers with all kinds of movement on his pitches. 2-2 to LaRocca. Swing and a miss, strike 3. He got him. Childers back-to-back strikeouts, leaving a man in scoring position as he strikes out 3 since coming in the 7th. We go to the 9th, 6-4. Angelo State on top of Southern New Hampshire.
1 hit, no errors, 1 left.
New pitcher, Griffin Gilbert for Southern New Hampshire. Comes out of the pen with a 3-1 record, 2.52 ERA. It'll be his 16th appearance, all in relief. 39 strikeouts, only 4 walks in 25 innings. Opponents are hitting just 179 against him. So Trevor Annabole and his blue glove did a pretty good job for 2 scoreless innings, and he's done.
Well, his job is to keep this a 2-run deficit. Easier said than done. Kobe Kelton's been a tough out and is going to be the first bat he faces.
Angelo State definitely has shown its character in this game. Coming back from down 4-1 early in the second inning, they were down by 3. Scoring 3 in the 3rd and 2 in the 6th, and piling up 6 stolen bases. A lot of small ball. I mean, we saw a triple in the last inning, but other than that, out of their 9 hits, I think there was a double in there, and that's about it. Everything else were singles.
Leading off is the right fielder, Kobe Kelton.
It's just impressive the Penmen are even back this year, considering they lost their 4 primary starting pitchers from a year ago. Of their 37 starts last year, only 2 of those starts returned in this year's roster.
Yeah, it's a turnaround of roster.
Brought in 3 transfers, including Roberge, who we saw earlier today from D3 Wheaton.
1-0 here to Kobe Kelton leading off. And he's ahead 2-0. He has a couple of hits and a walk. Been on base 3 times, a couple singles, 2 runs scored. Done a nice job as the number 2 hitter. He'll be followed by Aaron Walters and Justin Lee. Gilbert deals. A fastball high. He's behind 3-0. Gilbert from Concord, New Hampshire, 6'4", 220. Redshirt sophomore. Kelton taking all the way, and he thought he had ball for it, but it's a strike.
Kelton's been fun to watch here.
Yeah.
He got a little too far away from the batter's box a moment ago, was invited to get back in as the pitch was ready, then started drifting over towards first, and then admits, nope, that's a strike.
There's a strike, 3-2. It's also been fun to watch all day. Had a stolen base, made a nice catch in right field.
He has the only run scored for Angelo State with fewer than 2 outs.
Ground ball over first base, foul, and it remains 3-2.
5 of Angelo State's 6 runs after 2 outs.
Well, this team can produce. There's no doubt about that.
Not even the base runners had reached before 2 outs, but they made the most of it.
Well, Coach Brooks has told us that he thinks the key to winning here at Coleman Field is to not try to hit too many homers. And his team a lot of times comes out of an atmosphere in the Super Regional, playing Colorado Mesa the last few years, where there are a lot of home runs hit. That's fouled on the first base side. But Coach Brooks feels like here in Cary, you do need to play a little more small ball, and his team kind of fits into that mold the way they've been playing today, and this is the way they played all year with a lot of stolen bases and the small ball. That kid's getting recruited soon.
It's a couple of ice cream sandwiches coming his way.
Payoff pitch. Bouncing ball hit weakly towards first. LaRocca flips to the pitcher, and Gilbert is there to get Kelton one away.
Really well done. Again, your relief pitcher, Griffin Gilbert, who's just come into the ball game, but able to execute, running parallel down the line and give your first baseman a target. A nice job by LaRocca as well.
Here's Aaron Walters, 0 for 3 with a walk and a run scored for a guy who came in hitting .402 with 10 homers and 85 RBI, 6th in the country. Takes outside 1-0. The Rams have 6 runs on 9 hits and an error, while the Penmen have 4 runs, 6 hits, 3 errors. That's fouled back.
Rams trying to win their first game of the week for a 2nd straight year. Mentioned they handed Wingate what would prove to be Wingate's only loss last year in pursuit of a national championship. The problem is you feel like you keep butting heads with the same team over and over again. Both these teams have experienced that. Penmen against Augustana when Augustana won it all, and last year Angelo State, despite handing the Bulldogs a loss, Bulldogs needed to beat the Rams twice to keep them out of that final at the end of the last season, and the Bulldogs were able to do that.
Yeah, with 2 one-run wins, and it seems like Angelo State is always involved in close games in the D2 championship. The 2-1, inside 3-1, and they got another one going here. And in fact, you think about it, the defense has really killed Southern New Hampshire because their pitchers have given up 6 runs, but 4 of them earned. So we would have been in a tie game if not for some of those errors. Base hit left field for Walters. But those errors a lot of times are caused by a team stealing bases, and forcing the errors, right?
Well, it's once you get that runner on, whether or not you can torment your opponent. If they can execute throwing a ball from point A to point B, then you run yourself out of an inning. But a lot of these teams can apply that pressure, and all of a sudden a routine play becomes anything but. and things start to snowball.
It's a good word, torment, because that seems like what the Rams have been doing all day is tormenting the Penmen on the bases. Now they have Walters at first, one out for Justin Lee, who's 1 for 3 in RBI double. He's been hit by a pitch and scored a run.
And again, 6 runs today is an off day for Angelo State.
Yeah. 1 for 3 is an off day for Lee, who came in batting .441. How do you maintain a .441 batting average? It's just ridiculous. There goes the runner. Bouncing ball hit towards second. Unable to make the tag as Jimenez, so he'll throw to first and gets the out, the second of the inning, but Walters does get the second. That was hit slow enough that it didn't allow Jimenez an opportunity to make that tag.
Yeah, the only play for Ricky, and nice job by Ricky not to try to force something that was not available to him. Make sure to get the out, and all of a sudden you're 1 out closer to getting back to the dugout, still trailing by 2 and 3 outs for a comeback in the bottom of the 9th.
Jordan Williams climbs in. He is 1 for 3 with a walk, a 2-run single earlier, back in that 3rd inning, which was a big one for the Rams when they scored 3. It's when they came back to tie the game, and then they took the lead with 2 in the 6th. It was that 6th inning where they took advantage of a couple of stolen bases and a couple of throwing errors by the catcher, Nick Schwartz. So Williams here with a runner at second, 2 down, trying to add to the 2-run lead. 1 ball, 1 strike the count. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 9th, it's 7, 8, 9 coming up for the Penmen. Ground ball in the hole at short, base hit into left field. Walters coming around 3rd. Kennedy throws to the plate. The slide, he's safe. And the Rams take a 3-run lead, a 3-run lead in the 9th as Williams went to second.
Yeah, Walters had the green light the entire way from Coach Brooks with that arm in motion. It was the right decision. It's going to take a perfect throw to get him. It was almost a perfect throw. At Angelo State with an extra insurance run now. An RBI from Jordan Williams, and Williams is able to advance another 90 feet with this throw that comes home. So he's in scoring position as well.
Well, he almost had him at the plate.
Yep.
I mean, that's just good base running. Walters has good speed, got a good break with 2 outs. Here's Treadaway swinging a miss, 0-1.
It's a really good play from Alex Kennedy. It's the right decision. You do not cut that ball off, but ultimately just cannot get the final out at home. And again, as a result, Jordan Williams now in scoring position as well.
Another 2-out base hit to score a run. That pitch inside.
It is another run scored with 2 outs here for Angelo State.
That could be huge to have a 3-run lead now.
Against a bullpen so far that's only given up 1 hit.
And Childers doing such a good job for the last inning and 2/3. As they talk this over here. Jimenez, Kennedy, and Taveras due up. And you might say, well, that's the bottom of the order, but Jimenez and Kennedy hit back-to-back homers back in the 2nd. So Angelo State, knowing that damage can be done, they would love to add another run here.
Bottom third of the order has been the most successful part of the order for Southern New Hampshire in this ball game.
Yeah.
2 home runs, 2 hit batters, and a walk. They've only been retired through 9 plate appearances on 4 occasions.
Treadaway fouls one on the right side near the dugout, front of it. 1-2 now to Tatum Treadaway, the freshman. 11 hits now for the Rams. Trying to get into a Tuesday night game with the winner of our second game. Swinging a foul back, remains 1-2. Our second game scheduled to start at 6 o'clock Eastern time, featuring North Greenville. They are the number 1 seed, and Westchester the number 8 seed. It's interesting because West Chester is a team that's won 2 titles, while North Greenville, they have not been to the D2 championship before now. 1-2 to Treadaway. Strike 3 called in the inside corner with a fastball, and the inning is over. But an insurance run for Angelo State on a couple of base hits. They leave a man. We go to the bottom of the 9th, 7-4 Angelo State. Bottom of the 9th inning we go, and that team right there, the Southern New Hampshire Penmen, trying to come back from down 3. It'll be Ricky Jimenez, Alex Kennedy, and Idelson Taveras coming up here against Carson Childers, who came on in the 7th and has struck out 3 of his 6 batters and has not allowed any runs. And the bullpen's been amazing. There's a foul ball, 0-1 as Mosley, 5 1/3 scoreless, no hits allowed. And Childers just the 1 hit allowed. And Jimenez up here hit the 3-run homer back in the 2nd. That kind of startled the Rams, but Angelo State able to get their offense going after that. There's a liner into left center field. That drops for a base hit. Lee plays it in, a leadoff single for Jimenez, his 2nd hit of the game.
Mentioned this bottom third of the order has been the dangerous part of the lineup for Southern New Hampshire, including scoring 2 of their 4 runs today.
Well, Alex Kennedy homered on the very next pitch after the Jimenez homer in the 2nd. Back-to-back homers on consecutive pitches. And it was only his 3rd home run of the year. If he gets on here, then all of a sudden you have the tying run at the plate. Childers deals way high, 1-0.
So again, the top third of this lineup for Southern New Hampshire was 1 for 12. Whereas the bottom third of the order, we mentioned through now 10 appearances at the plate, have only been retired 4 times.
Called strike, 1-1. Childers trying to save it for Mosley after the starter Elder gave up 4 runs in 1+ innings. Childers looking for his 3rd save of the season. Runner not being held at first. Kennedy swings and fouls it back, and it's 1-2.
That ball hit from Jimenez, you had both outfielders there. Kind of surprised one of them was not willing to commit to just laying out for it, knowing the other man was going to be able to probably quickly scoop it up.
Yeah. 1-2 fouled on the first base side, down into the right field area. Remains 1-2 to Kennedy. Yeah, I mean, you would think you'd lay out in that situation because you have nothing to lose as far as an extra base hit. Same thing here. Kennedy, who came into the game batting .352, trying to keep it going, fouls it back. Remains 1-2. Southern New Hampshire, they lost a couple of 1-run games last year. They were 2 games and out, trying to avoid a loss in the first game this season. 1-2 to Kennedy. Big breaking ball. Ooh, that just missed high, and Childers wanted it, but the home plate umpire, Adam Berg, would not give it to him. He bent at the waist. Remember, it's where it crosses the plate, and I think that was high. Two to Kennedy. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Childers, 4 strikeouts since coming in the 7th. 4 of his 8 batters have K'd 1 out.
Get a couple looks at this, which is decisively a 3rd strike.
So much movement on his pitches. Here's Idelson Taveras. 0 for 1, tried to bunt his way on and was put out. As he takes a ball, 1-0. Been hit by 2 pitches.
Yeah, both from Mosley.
Yeah, and back-to-back plate appearances he was hit. If he can get on here, the tying run would come to the plate, and Daniel Rivera, the leadoff man, on deck. That's inside and low, 2-0. I mean, you're almost going to make him throw a strike at some point. You got to work him. (2-0) to Taveras. Ooh, that's a borderline call, but it's in there for a strike above the belt.
Well, Jimenez, after the leadoff single, just the second hit allowed by the bullpen today. And a little under 7 innings of work, has not been able to budge off of first.
3-1.
But again, the Penmen aren't going to try to play small ball. They need a big inning here. Down to 2 outs. Absolutely must score 3 at least.
3-1 to Taveras. Popped in the air, shallow left. Lee coming in, settling under it. 2 down. So now the Rams 1 out away from victory. It's up to Daniel Rivera for the Penmen to keep it going. He's 1 for 4, a double, and he's reached on an error by the shortstop.
Top of the order, shortstop Daniel Rivera.
If he can get on, Christian Mercedes would come up. They are holding the runner. Jimenez now at first base. Pop-up, this should be the ball game. Johnson under it. That does it. Angelo State wins it 7-4 over Southern New Hampshire. And after the Penmen had that big second inning, they looked like they were on fire, but incredible relief pitching by the Rams, and their offense was clicking. They were stealing bases all day with 6 of them. So they go on to win and go into the winner's bracket, while it will be Southern New Hampshire on Tuesday playing for their lives in this D2 championship after losing the first game. And they have lost all 3 games they have played in the D2 championship the last 2 seasons.
Well, for Angelo State, having your starting pitcher chased from the ball game in the second inning is not typically a winning formula, but credit to the Bats. After they go down 3 runs, they immediately answer the next half inning, tie the ball game up. We stayed tied until the 6th, and Angelo State was able to play it a couple of more by, as we mentioned, tormenting the defense, forcing them to execute, and when they could not, it was Angelo State taking the lead. They would tack one more on in the 9th for the 7-4 victory.
What a great job by Kyle Mosley in relief to get the win with 5 1/3 innings of scoreless, hitless baseball. And then Carson Childers, he only allowed 2 base hits, struck out 4 after coming in the 7th inning, and gets the job done to save it for Angelo State. So a win for the Rams. Now they'll see who they play on Tuesday. Same with the Penmen, who will play the loser of the second game. Coming up at 6 o'clock Eastern time, North Greenville, the #1 seed in this tournament. They'll be playing West Chester right here on NCAA.com. For Lincoln Rose and our entire crew, I'm Joe Castellano. We'll see you at 6 p.m. Eastern.